Hey, did you miss out on dances, dating, making friends, or a social life of any kind because you were too busy studying the blade? Have you spent years honing your body, tempering your mind, and buying an embarrassing amount of swords just so you can cut tiny objects?
You didn't cut it.
Check your foreskin.
Well, congratulations! You might be a Kensei monk. But what is a Kensei monk? Well, try not to go broke ordering weapons on Etsy, make sure to binge watch a heaping dose of Scholagrim videos, and crank that divorced dad rock. We've got training in the backyard. Alright guys, let me preface this whole video with an admission. Swords are cool, okay? And I know I'm not the only one in this community who spent hours of their middle school life perusing the replica anime swords at their local mall ninja dojo, while the greasy balding guy with a ponytail behind the counter tries to convince us that the Tessaiga up there on the wall was made by real Japanese blacksmiths and not some jackass with 20 minutes and a steel saw. But we believed it because there's something weirdly satisfying about whipping that shit around our heads and pretending we're Aragorn, okay? Why do you think the History Channel got rid of documentaries and started making trash like Forged in Fire? Because learning is for fucking nerds. I want to see you cut a pig carcass, baby! Sorry. But what if there was a subclass that loves swords as much as we do? You know, besides this one and sometimes this one. Okay, but like really love them. Like gave up the ability to harness dragon magic or shoot energy beams out of their hands or fight better after pounding back cold ones just for the opportunity to play around with a stabby boy. I mean, that's dedication, right? I certainly think so. And by the way, when I say swords, I mean all swords. Like this, super cool sword. Or this, also a cool sword. Or this, a sword on a stick. Or even this, a sword upon delivery. They're all swords, just different kinds of swords. And if that didn't blow your mind, water's not wet, pizza's a salad, and crocodiles can gallop. So, where's this rant going? Oh yeah, yes, the Kensei monk is a mall ninja, an Aikmo-maniac, if you will, a sword dork. But they're also one of us, and I kinda love that about them. So you too want to start learning the ancient art of the blade, honing your skills to perfection and scaring off the maidens. How do you get started? Well, the best way is as a monk. Monks get cool stuff like unarmored defense to make their AC equal to their dex and wisdom modifiers, as well as martial arts to smack bad guys around with a d4 to your unarmed strikes and let you use your dex mod instead of strength for these attacks, as well as make an additional attack as a bonus action. And while swords are still our favorites, we will be using a surprising amount of kicks in this subclass, so get ready to start introducing yourself as a knight of the roundhouse.
Damn!
Second level monks get Ki, which is mystical energy that connects monks to the world around us, which I would say is a lot like midichlorians from Star Wars, but that would be giving George Lucas a little too much credit.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
But hey, swords. And our Ki lets us pull off cool maneuvers on our bonus action, like patient defense to dodge, step of the wind to dash, and flurry of blows to take 2 attacks on your bonus action unarmed strikes. We also get unarmored movement, which increases our speed by 10 feet while we're not wearing armor, and goes up to 15, 20, 25, and 30 at levels 6, 10, 14, and 18, letting you whiz past enemies like some idiot gave Sonic the Hedgehog a broadsword. Wait, that did happen, didn't it? Ew, what the fuck? But it's finally 3rd level and we've spent all our gold on the best rainbow steel weapons money can buy, and have embarked on the path of the Kensei. But walking the path of the blade is not for the faint of heart, as we make it our responsibility to destroy every evildoer, demon, or plastic bottle that gets in our way. And with our Kensei weapons, we gain proficiency in both a melee and ranged weapon of our choice, which now count as a monk weapon for you. Meaning this weapon can use your dex modifier instead of strength, and you can swap in your monk die on the attack if it happens to be higher. Wait, does this mean you can actually make whips work? Well, shit. That's cool. The only weapons you can't use are those that have the heavy or special properties, but this opens us up to a ton of new options to bring the pain, and our options increase as we pick up a new proficiency at level 6, 11, and 17. But we'll need all those weapons to pull off new special moves like Agile Parry, to gain a +2 to our AC if you make an unarmed strike as a part of the attack action while holding a melee Kensei weapon, letting you trick an opponent with some impressive sword tricks and then crack them across the jaw with a devastating right hook. We also get the Kensei Shot, which lets us add an extra 1d4 to a ranged attack with a Kensei weapon, which is great for daggers, but even better for guns. Cowboy Samurai build win.
It's high noon.
But you wouldn't be a true monk without doing a little calligraphy, so we also picked that up with the Way of the Brush. So now we can work on our wrist strength or make the coolest graffiti to our heart's content. And somehow we're not done, because 3rd level also lets us deflect missiles to knock projectiles away like that one scene from Lord of the Rings. How did he do that? Viggo Mortensen is literally built different. But this lets you reduce the damage of an incoming ranged attack by 1d10 plus your dex mod and your monk level, and spend a key point to return that shit to Cinder as a reaction if you reduce the damage to 0. 4th level gets us Slow Fall, a fantastic traversal ability letting us reduce falling damage on a hero's landing equal to 5 times our monk level, and extra attack at level 5 for 2 attacks per round and 4 with a flurry of blows, but even better allows us to attack once with our Kensei weapon and once with our fist to gain the benefit of an agile parry while still doing solid damage. But honestly, we're really here for Stunning Strike, to spend a key point while targeting pressure points to disrupt the key in your opponent's body, or more likely just smash them in the nards, and force them to make a con save or be stunned until the end of your next turn, which is simultaneously the best and most annoying monk move, as a well-timed Stunning Strike can end fights early after you bring it home with a full combo straight to the face. Our monk die also bumps up to a d6, which will come in very handy at level 6 once we become one with the blade. Now, all of our attacks, including our unarmed strikes and our Kensei weapons, count as magical, which helps a lot when carving up a flesh golem or slapping the slobber out of a werewolf. But we also grab deft strikes. Now, once per turn, when you hit a target with a Kensei weapon, you can spend a key point to deal an extra martial arts die on top of the damage. And while good for melee, is surprisingly great with Kensei shot, giving you a weapon die, a martial arts die, and a d4 to roll. So pretty soon your table will be looking like a game of diddle. Wait, they named a game Diddle? Really? Diddle? That's an awful idea. Who made this game? Dr. Disrespect? Ew. But speaking of sick burns, we can avoid all that at level 7 with Evasion, letting us instinctively dodge out of the way and take only half damage on a failed dex save or no damage on a success. As well as Stillness of Mind, to spend an action on your turn focusing on how rad your sword is and ending an effect causing you to be charmed or frightened. Our 9th level unarmored movement lets us run up walls and over water like some dope Naruto shit. At level 10 we become immune to disease and poison with Purity of Body, and at level 11 we gain the ability to sharpen the blade. This allows us to take one of our Kensei weapons and imbue it with our own ki to increase its potency. And as a bonus action, you can spend 1 to 3 ki points to turn your Kensei weapon into a +1, +2, or +3 weapon for 1 minute. Combine that with the fact that our monk die just bumped up to a d8, we're able to do some serious offensive damage with our Kensei weapon, while also having the flexibility to use moves like agile parry or deft strikes to stay in the fight longer without sacrificing heavy hits. That's rad. 13th level gets us Tongue of the Sun and Moon, so you can understand all spoken languages and any creature can understand you, which is cool and all, but I think these 6 sword moves speak for themselves. As well as Diamond Soul at level 14 to gain proficiency in all saving throws and the ability to spend a key point to reroll it if you fail, which may be the most anime protag ability in 5e. Just being good at everything for no reason. At 15th level we get that Timeless Body, so we no longer need to eat or drink, and we no longer feel the effects of aging, which I take it back already, this is probably the most anime protag ability. Why is he still 10? It's been like 20 years. But we'll finish off our Kensei strong with Unerring Accuracy at level 17. This allows you to straight up reroll a miss once per turn for free, because badasses like us are just always hitting. But more importantly, this lets us make the most out of our attacks, especially on those later level fights where it really matters that we put out that damage, and with our new monk die at a d10, consistency is the name of the game. But rounding us off, we get Empty Body at level 18 to spend 4 key points to become invisible for 1 minute and gain resistance to all damage but force, or spend 8 key points to cast Astral Projection on yourself. And finally, we become our perfect selves at level 20 to get back 4 key points if we roll initiative without any, which kinda sucks. But can the Kensei carve out a spot amongst the other monks? Hell yes. The Kensei monk is cool because of how straightforward everything is, and I love the idea of you getting like 4 or 5 weapons to choose from over time so your guy has options when going into battle. You are meant to be a frontliner, and your ability to give yourself a +2 to AC more or less for free, as well as abilities like evasion and deflect missiles, you're able to stay in the mix way longer than most monks. If there's one thing to complain about, I think this subclass would benefit greatly from getting a fighting style. You could limit it to just a few, but the dueling or 2-weapon styles as options here would really sing. And to be honest, I'm not in love with the fact that you can't use heavy or special weapons. I think that kinda stinks. Just let me use a glaive for the reach, and so I can live out some of those really cool action scenes from the best kung fu movies. But that being said, whips do go hard with this subclass. Lastly, while I've heard the complaint that your agile parry is weird, I I kinda like the idea that you can focus on attacking or on defense depending on the situation. If you focus on your dex and wisdom, you'll probably have some decent AC by the time you get this ability, and later extra attack will allow you to pull it off every turn anyway, as long as you don't mind sacrificing a sword swing. But really, this subclass does numbers in multi-classes. Rogues benefit greatly from the extra dice and Kensei shot, fighters are begging for more stuff to do with their bonus action, and that extra speed and unarmed strikes are killer on barbarians. But as a standalone monk, I dig it. There's some stuff that doesn't work as well, but I really like the idea of picking up most weapons and just making them work because they're cool. A D10 for a dagger on this is kinda nutty, but even a dowel-like longsword, dual whips, or a frickin' gun? I mean, where do you go wrong? So if your hands constantly smell like sword oil, you're always trying to convince dates that this many weapons is normal and they shouldn't be weirded out by it, and have had multiple extended arguments with your parents about the pronunciation of katana, guess what? You might be a Kensei monk. Hey guys, if you made it this far, you're the best, and thanks for watching. If you're wondering, yes, I do own a sword, and yes, it is a katana, and yes, that is silly for a grown man to have. But also, shut up, so how about that? But if you want to shame me in the comments, I get it. Please feel free and tell me I'm a dork. You are correct. But also remember to like and subscribe, it sure does help out the video quite a bit, and if you really like what I do, please hit us up on the Patreon. Members get access to exclusive polls, ad-free videos, and more, with the top-tiered members getting games DM'd by me. So to those cool cats, King Osiris, Miles Nyard, Saurus, and Spider Lover, and Tedsy, y'all are the best, and I can't thank you enough for being so cool. And if you want more stuff from me, please hop over to the Discord, we're always having fun over there. But until next time guys, please take care of yourselves, tell a friend you care about them, and I'll see you very soon.